Hello everybody, my name is Nick Starwind and welcome once again to a video where we take our spy glasses to the Thomas series and see what we can find. Now, when I did my Missing Coach Part 2 review, I mentioned briefly about how Mattel has in their possession the original raw footage of the first few seasons of Thomas, and showed some comparison shots of the episodes such as Cole, and how most likely due to the master footage being damaged or lost, they used alternate shots to fill in the gap, sometimes to changes we haven't noticed, and other times just straight up goofs. After doing some research and getting a little help, I found out that the HD classics I have been referring to are actually not official HD releases from HIT or Mattel, but in fact taken from the collection of remasters released in 2012 on DVD from the Complete Collection series, just before HIT was absorbed into Mattel. Now, this only further strengthens my argument to say that Mattel owns the original rushes of the classic series, as this was released so close to the acquisition and it gave me a little idea for a fun project. So I decided to take the original VHS releases of Season 1, 2 and 3 and put them alongside the remasters to see just how many changes there were. And, surprisingly, there were actually quite a few, some noticeable and some not so noticeable. So for this video, I have created a compilation of these changes, alongside the original audio and the original footage to show this, which will further influence the idea that the original Missing Coach rushes are with Mattel, and of course, maybe other rushes, for example, the Down the Mine pilot. But for this, I've had to set some allowances, because sometimes you get longer shots using the same scene as the original, so they are discounted. Also, transitions are not included in this, even though, at different times, transition shots are removed for just straight up cuts. Especially in the Henry the Green Engine arc of Season 1, but I haven't included any post-production edits in my allowances, because these were done after the shot was made, for example, the nameplate being censored out in Breakvan. I have also discounted goofs, as this is sometimes due to the expanding of the original aspect ratio of the footage, similar to when they did the HD remasters of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so crew and equipment being seen does not count as an alternative shot. As much as I would like to replace GWR Studios, I feel he did an excellent job and should have continued. Also, I have matched these images up shot by shot, not by audio, because in the remasters, the audio is out of sync to the footage, which at first wasn't so bad, but in the end it was just easier to line up shot for shot. So if you decide to do this yourself, don't be alarmed when it's not in sync. In doing this project, I have discovered a lot of fascinating things about the production of this series, and my respect for David Mitton and his crew have gone even higher than before, because the level of detail they have done is beautiful. Although at times I question Britt Allcroft's decisions as a producer, as in many interviews she complains about not having enough budget to do specific stories or scenes, and yet I see a lot of wasted sets and stories which could have been done on a more well-used set, and many people have spoken and agreed with me about that. But anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it, but as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, stick it on a badger, attach it to a brick, mail it to a bomb so they like a surprise, and also remember to spare some change, governor, by either joining my Patreon or donating in the links below. So, I have been Nick Starwind, you have been my audience, and welcome to the not so Starwind zone, but could be Starwind zone, if we did anything about it, zone.
So they lit his fire, made lots of steam at him. I'm not going to spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes for you. They took up the old rails and built a wall in front of him so that Henry couldn't get out of the tunnel. Thomas the tank engine wouldn't stop being a but Thomas was a little engine with a long tongue. Stopping, we're stopping, called Thomas. No, 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 answered the trucks, bumping into each other. Go on, go on. Before the driver could stop them, they had pushed Thomas down the hill all day. Tried to tell Thomas what had happened. We haven't a God. We haven't a God. He climbed up and picked. Well, Thomas, so you and your driver have been fishing, but fish don't suit you. We must get them out. Indeed, said the Fat Controller, we cannot allow that. He found Gordon, James, and Henry looking very quick, but was being rather careless and not paying attention. Edward had warned Percy, be careful on the main line. Whistle to the signalman, you are there. The express! All he could do was to go slowly onto a siding, and Edward took charge of the train. The Fat Controller and fireman went on discussing. That's all right, Thomas, you made me laugh, replied Gordon. I'm in disgrace. Worried, but he couldn't help laughing, becoming a disgrace to the Fat Controller's railway. There's Bertie Buss in a tearing hurry. No need to bother with him, though. Likely he's on a coach tour or something. This hill is gently braking. Edward's driver checked the engine's speed. Later, Thomas brought Annie and Clarabelle to visit him. Thomas was most impressed. I'm Percy. What really great arms you've got. They're nice arms, said Harold. I can hover like a bird. But Percy with his stone trucks did the trip in record time. Percy loved it. Oh, thank you, he said. Then the Fat Controller spoke to Duck. Anyway, said cheeky Percy, I'm not afraid of water. I like it. He ran off to the harbour singing. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. No one ever lets me forget the time I wouldn't come out of the tunnel in case the rain spoilt my paint, huffed Henry. One day he whispered to the trucks, will you give me a bump when we get to the quay? The trucks had never been asked to bump an engine before. Diesel found them hard to move. Gave a great heave. Beg pardon, sir, gasped Duck. Excuse my intrusion. And he lathered Duck's face all over. Thomas was helping to pull the trucks away when the Fat Controller arrived. God was anxious. Go steady. The van was in pieces. Please, sir, asked Percy. Will she go, sir, when Thomas comes back, sir? Do they expect me to pull that? Well, that's how it is, finished Daisy. Feeble, feeble, spluttered Daisy. Let me. Do you mind? These are mine, said the Diesel. Go away. I might have known it. Never mind, the Diesel smiled. Call me Boko. There's no real harm in them, he said to Boko, but they're maddening at times. Boko chuckled. Maddening, he said, is the word. It's worth being late to have seen you. And they set off once more to finish their long journey.
All I want is a warm boiler, huffed Thomas. Firelighter knows that. He's late. He's not late, replied Percy. This cold weather woke... Why don't we talk about something else, shivered Percy's train. Percy was now working hard. My funnel's cold, my funnel's cold. Rubbish, Percy, said Henry. Engines don't wear scarves. Engines with proper funnels do, replied Percy. Sticky streams of jam trickled down Percy's face.
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
Trousers, too.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you found the scarf, eh? But legs go in trousers, not funnels. Love the seaside. One down Percy's boiler. Oh, big effort, and at last, exhausted but triumphant, he brought the train home. Harold. First he thanked the men. You know, little Toby, he boasted. Empty. Poor Toby was out of steam, and Henrietta hated leaving Toby. Never mind, said Percy. You're taking the fireman to... Oh, yes, please, sir. Look what's under your bunker. Then Duck laughed too. You win, Donald. It'd take a clever engine to get the best. Next day, Thomas hurried along the line. We shan't get any further today. But Bertie drove along the road. Wake up, Thomas. Are you dreaming about the time you thought I was a ghost? Certainly not. Anyway, I was only pretending to be scared. I knew it was you, really. Percy went on teasing him. I hope the guard leaves the light on for you tonight. Why? Asked Thomas. I quite like the dark. Oh, really? Exclaimed Percy. I am surprised. I'd always thought you were afraid of the dark. I nothing, and went to sleep in... What sort of something? Said Percy. Very lonely. Oh, dear, he murmured. It's very dark. Oh, what's that? I wish Thomas was here too, he sighed. Games. I've seen a huge dragon. It was covered in lights. Shunt, where? Said Percy suspiciously. Where? Why, from here to there, purred Diesel, and again from there to here. Duck were horrified. They did not trust Diesel at all. They refused to work and would not leave their shed. Wake up there, Percy, scowled Diesel. What will the fat controller say, gasped Percy. Diesel. Two little goody-goody telltales like you, I suppose. Yes, please, sir. We're resting in the shed. Listen, said Thomas. Can you hear a strange whistling sound? Except Henry. I hope the wind won't harm the forest. Laughing, and always he is happy here. You're a very naughty engine, said Gordon. Henry will have to do it. You're getting all puffed up. But James was going to play a trick on the other engines. Actually, Thomas, I'm taking the coaches. The fat controller asked me to tell you. James puffed. Bad luck, Bertie, said Thomas. Now, if you were a steam engine, you would run on a per day. Yes, grumbled Gordon, but not for James. I can manage, thank you, she replied. I'm not an old fusspot like you. Grrr, up, ordered May. Anything to get rid of the bees. First, they spun on the turntable to no avail. They tried once. Do you go to other places? Landed carefully on Harold, whispered Duck. He may have whirly arms instead of wheels. Oh, yes, sir, of course, replied the twin. Your whistles. So here first, said Bill. But I won't. You will. The next day, Ben was... One day, Edward was talking quietly. Douglas gasped. Don't mention that word. It makes my week, Henry. Oliver, said James, has remarked. Henry says I'm amazing. He's right. He ways. He never learned sense.